What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Papa G's House. It's great to have you back. We've got a great episode lined up today. We've got Ling from Taxi Violence, Power Apes, JPson, The Works. We're going to have a great conversation. Some great stories, so stick around to the end. Like, subscribe, drop a comment. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Papa G's House. As usual, I'm joined by my illustrious co-host, Arthur Carlos Diego Pereira III, also known as Art Pereira.
Sup?
Sup, dude?
Ah, fuck.
Hottest place on earth right now, man.
Is that legit though?
I've read multiple articles that are saying that Cape Town is the hottest place on earth right now, the last 2 days.
I would believe it.
And more articles that say it's the hottest couple of days in Cape Town in its history since records were kept.
Wow. Global warming, dude.
Yeah, insane. But anyway, as we're sitting here, we got a special guest here. We got Ling, who's taken the time out to join us. He's down from Berlin, I think it is.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for joining the show, dude. It's fucking awesome to have you here.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
First of all, how long are you here for?
I arrived on New Year's Eve, and I'm going to go back next week.
Next
Sunday,
week, okay.
yeah.
This short-ish visit, like
a
month or so.
So next week, this time I'll be
Going back to the cold.
-degrees. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. How is life in Berlin? Like, I mean, what is I mean, obviously the seasons are different, but how's just the way of life? I mean, I've got a mate who lives there at the moment who I play a lot of online games with, and he says it's just such a buzzing city, but obviously the last couple of months it's been a bit, quiet.
Yeah, it's a really awesome city. I mean, I first went there in 1998.
Okay.
I just happened to pass through there, and I loved it, and I said one day I'd live there, and yeah. So now I'm living there. It's an awesome city. There's always something to do, and it's kind of like if you want to stay at home, be quiet, you can. But if you want to go out on Monday or any day of the week, there's something happening. So
for sure. I mean, so you actually made the decision one day. I'm going to live there, and you made the call. Like that's a goal. I'm going to get to Berlin one day.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've always loved Europe, and between I think 98 and 2000, I did that backpacking touring around Europe thing, and yeah, Berlin was one of the places I really liked. Sure. And it wasn't so popular back then, and I just liked it. There weren't any tourists in that, and it just happened that my wife, she's German.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's I met her in Cape Town, and when we got married, she was like, we can go live in Germany, and I was like, oh well, why not? Let's go.
Nice little change. Eh?
Yeah, dude. I was in Berlin in 2008, and that was before all the foreigners really found it and all the hipsters dived in there, and I loved it as well. I loved Berlin when I was there.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. I mean, there's lots of expats from South Africa and
it's like the new London.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. I mean, it's gotten really, really busy in the last. I mean, I moved there 2015.
Okay,
and even I can see the change in the last 6 years. Like so many South Africans are going across, and a lot of internationals. So, I mean, if you actually spot someone from Berlin, it's wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. How was the adjustment, like going from Cape Town or South Africa to a place like Berlin? Like, was it a big adjustment, or like did you fit right in?
I won't lie to you. It was quite a big adjustment. Obviously, everyone does speak English, but, you try your best to learn German, and I had to do a bunch of studies in that to get my visa and permanent residency in that, and then obviously finding work, just
I mean those tests are like brutal as well. I got a mate who's doing the one for Canada, and he had to do like a French test. And he is French speaking, he's fluent in French, and he failed the test.
Like regardless, I thought it was only like British Columbia that you need to do that.
It was BC.
Oh, so okay, so that's the French side. Shit.
Yeah, no, so
Sorry,
it was wild. Like he told me the whole and the English test he failed as well. So It must be quite insane that what you have to go through. I mean, geez. So you've been there 6 years now. So you're close to be permanent resident.
I got my permanent residency in 2018, I think, around about there.
Sick.
Yeah, so that's cool.
And how did it go from, you know, being in Taxi Violence, obviously Taxi Violence, Jason Ling played for Taxi Violence for many years, going from Taxi Violence and touring and having your bandmates and stuff and having to drop all of that to now start a new life in Berlin? Like, how was that adjustment?
Yeah, so that was probably one of the biggest things, the biggest changes I had to go through, because, you know, you're used to seeing the same group of people every day, or, you know, of the week, and being on the road with them and, you know, playing shows and that. And when I moved over, obviously, you know, I wasn't playing too many shows, and yeah, just trying to find other projects or do, I don't know, just try something. So it's a weird decision, like, you know, you can cling on to something that you've had in the past, and, you know, or you can just close that door and try something new. And
Yeah, totally. So did you guys try and do the remote vibe at start, or?
Well,
I mean, I suppose your life must have been so chaotic at the time, like moving and,
yeah,
you know, and all that stuff.
There were a couple of gigs, I think. In 2015, I was flying back and forth, and we had some shows and gigs, and obviously I had to come back to South Africa to wrap some things up, and then I'd arrange a few gigs when I was in town.
Okay.
And then remember we did this one big event, was can't remember, it was with Windhoek, and we kind of went up to Opikopi, and we had this big bus, and that was probably like a big project that we worked on. That was in 2015. But then, 2016, just the band kind of moved on, and I mean, we still are a band, just taking a bit of a break, I guess.
Hiatus is
the word. And Luddy, the original bass player, joined the band again. He moved to Cape Town, and currently he moved back to Durban, and so the band's kind of
like all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah.
I mean, listen. I mean, a lot of the bands are doing that at the moment. They work remotely, and then they're like, okay, we've got a gig here, and then they'll all go meet at one spot. Not in Cape Town anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like with Verona Walls, Jean-Eric is like in Port
He's in PE, so he would travel down. Yeah,
we had one gig where we flew him down just to play the show, because I'm like, I'm not having a fill-in bass player. I want Jean there.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't.
You
feel
know what
right,
I'm saying?
no.
Like also, you know, with the fill-in vibes, it just doesn't feel 100%.
I filled in with
authentic.
Taxi Violence a few times. They must have felt it was pretty awkward.
Yeah. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, if it's someone that you know, and it's, you know, someone you've been friends with for many years, I mean, you've filled in a couple of times. Eh?
I filled in for you guys, I think it was like about 5 or 6 times, I believe.
Yeah, I think the big one was Ramfest.
Yeah, the big one was Ramfest, and then it was the down leg of a tour from Durban back to Cape Town, and then it was that place in Scarborough, and I think there was one other show. I can't remember if I played at Mercury with you guys. No, I didn't. It was about 4 or 5 shows that I played with you guys.
Good memory.
Hey, I'm sure there's lots of things I forget, but cool vibes.
Hey man, if I sessioned for you guys, I would also remember every time. I mean, I mean, when did you release 10? Like the 10?
Tenfold. That's 2014.
Sure. Yeah. And that's 2004 to 2014, because that was your 10-year anniversary.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know, bands that can last that long and that they keep going and stuff, it's like I've got the utmost respect for that, because I mean, with the trials and tribulations that you get as a band, and you know, with venues falling off and this falling off, and so much can change in 10 years and you still keep going. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
You also need someone that's like really good at managing and stuff, and he was a big driving force with Taxi.
Okay, were you the dude that organized most of the stuff?
Yeah, I guess so. If you want to call it managing and bookings, and
that's why I refer to it as the dude.
Yeah,
nobody wants to be called the manager.
Yeah, I guess. Sure. I mean, like Taxi's always been a very independent band, and was what it is, and I guess at some point we just I don't know how it came about, but I ended up just doing it, and then I just started liking it, and then one thing led to another.
I used to be that dude too back in the day, and it has its moments. You know, it can be fun, and that can also be extremely frustrating. Say, you know, you're speaking to 5 guys on a WhatsApp chat, and only 2 reply, and you're like, okay. What about the other 2?
I mean, like I told you before, I put on 2 shows, and it's like, not anymore, bro.
Yeah.
You just tell me where and when it is. I'm not doing anything.
And also the amount of times that we've gone to gigs and like the poor guy who's organized the gig gets so much shit from everybody because this hasn't happened or this hasn't happened and this backline isn't what we, and it ends up being like, is it worth it at the end of the day? Yes, it is worth it because we need a live scene back in this place. What's the scene like in Berlin?
When there's no COVID, it's cooking. There's a lot of bands, a lot of music. It's very a creative city, and it's every night there's something to go see or do. And there's big bands, small bands. Favorite part is like if you one of your favorite brands releases an album, the first thing you do is check when they're coming to Berlin. That's it.
Yeah.
New album, they're coming to Berlin. So I've got to see all my favorite bands and stuff like that. And there's, like I said, there's something to do every night of the week.
Yeah. Jeez, I haven't been there. I've been to Munich and I've been to Stuttgart.
Okay.
Stuttgart. But I had a blast there. I loved it so much. And I've been, I was planning to go over to Europe pre-pandemic and then pandemic hit and then plans on hold a bit. But I'd love to go and see that side of the world. Also, maybe try and get some really cool live shows that would be happening at the time and try and coincide with that. Because, it's been a while since I've seen one of my really favorite bands and like most of my favorite bands will play in Germany. Yeah. Specifically Berlin.
Yeah, I think like with the pandemic, a lot of people are saying the pandemic's over or not, So a lot of tours are getting planned for this year. A lot of festivals are planning. You can see they're going, advertising's coming out now and it's... So I think all the bands that haven't played for 2 years, they're just gonna.
Yeah, but there must be like a backlog of bands wanting to play, and there's probably delays.
Can you imagine what Download's gonna look like this year, dude? Holy shit! They lifted their mask mandates and everything. It's gonna be a code zone. Love it.
We'll see. We'll see how the year goes.
Boris trying to gain his fans back, bro.
Are there any festivals in Berlin like Download that you've been to?
Full force.
They had. Lollapalooza, Berlin.
Okay.
I've been to 2 of those. That's insane.
Is it?
Yeah, really,
it's like
really cool.
3-5 days kind of vibes.
3 days, like 100,000 people a day or something like that. It's crazy. Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that now.
I don't know if I could do that now. No. When I was younger, I'd be like, yeah.
I'd be a grumpy old fuck.
Yeah. Even the Download, not the Download, fuck, I wish.
Yeah.
The Ramfest that I played with you guys, I was like, geez, this is
Get
too
me
many
out of
people. And that was only like 6,000.
Yeah.
And we had already had the warning on the Wednesday that it might be shut down, Ramfest.
Yeah.
That was the Metallica tribute show you played, right? Yeah.
The Metallica tribute show, that was just before lockdown. Yeah, Ramfest. I mean, shit, I can't imagine what it's like to play a festival, playing on a stage to like, potentially 100,000 people. I can't imagine that.
Do you know what I always think about is what about the toilets?
Yeah.
How long are the queues to the toilets? Have they catered enough for this amount of people in terms of sewage and shit like that?
Dude, he recently played a social distancing concert festival vibe, which was in Italy?
No, it was in north of Germany, in Kiel.
In Kiel. Well, they were
Okay.
close enough.
Yeah.
That must have been weird to like see people.
Is that when they had they spray painted circles?
No, they had this like a bench, and then they'd have like string, like posts around. You could have like 2 people in this area, and then there would be like a 1.5 meter gap, and then they'd have another one. Also, like this big size of a rugby field, and then I think capacity was 1,200 people. Just all kind of standing in their zone.
Wow,
but it must look okay still from the stage because it's still spread out and you see like heads above heads.
Yeah, it was strange. It was a bit strange, but it was fun.
Jeez, I mean, the world, the ideas we come up with in dire times it's incredible. It's amazing how, we've talked about this to the nth degree, but how the music industry is just completely was hit initially, and all the ideas that have been popping up, and we're doing this and doing that, and all of a sudden stream live shows. I'm not a fan of the stream live shows.
I'm not a fan of it either.
Yeah,
it's like watching a YouTube video.
Yeah, it's like a
it pretty much video. Is watching a YouTube video.
No, exactly. Just it's yeah, it's crazy, but it's cool to see that stuff's coming back now, and you know, a lot of. I mean, didn't they had download last year already? They had 21 download.
I think there was a virtual download.
No,
wasn't
it was in person. Yeah, it was
Really?
the whole event. Yeah, 2021. Yeah.
Wow, I did not know this.
Yeah.
Where the hell have I been?
Yeah, it was crazy, and it was, I don't know.
Oh fuck, it's hot.
I know. Listen. I'm dying. I'm going to be the shiniest person on this podcast tonight.
Dude, I remember when I was in Berlin and then a couple years later in Hamburg. Did I say that right?
Hamburg.
I just say Hamburg. My German's not
checking
that
out the
Like
the
a hamburger?
venues where bands play. It's like if you look at documentaries about New York City, like CBGBs and all the punk bands, and like you see like these like a road, and it's just like offices and shops and things, but then there's one place that's just covered with stickers, and that's where the bands play. It was like that when I was in Hamburg. Went on a little tour with a friend of mine, and he goes like, "Yeah, the Rancid played here last week and all this stuff," and it's like looking at the place, it looks fucking gross, but the whole building is covered in band stickers. I want to play in one of those.
Yeah,
venues.
totally. I'd love to do that.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
What was
There
the
was
other place?
there was something similar like that I saw in Berlin as well, but it was in the bad area of Friedrichshain, where all like the anti-Nazi guys are, which are more scary than the neo-Nazis.
Oh, like I was like the anti-Nazi guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like they are like hardcore, and
Okay.
like but they basically walk around with needles, whatever. But like. I can say
Like
that now
walking-
because I'm not there.
Just walking around with
Yeah.
like needles and stuff.
But like where they were like chilling was also like a music venue, but it was just like graffiti and stickers, and it just looked like if you want to see like a really dodgy, scary punk band, that's where you would go. And
Okay.
it's like that kind of vibe. It's fucking scary, but like I would still like to play.
oh, totally. I would love to play a vibe like that. That
Oh,
sounds
man.
amazing.
Did you do club gigs? Or did you like any dodgy stuff, or was it just like like a Mercury kind of vibe?
Yeah, there's some like very famous like punk rock clubs in Berlin, and I just joined a band called the Power Apes. Don't say it too fast, otherwise it sounds Power Apes.
Power rapes. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, we actually started playing. First gig was in October last year, and because all the clubs started opening up, and we arranged a gig. And it was really cool, but we played at this club called Wild at Heart. Amazing. And, like, there's been a lot of like famous punk bands playing there. And it was a great gig, you know. And so there's that, and then there's all these small clubs, and all the way to big.
What's the reaction to Power Apes been like?
Power apes.
Yeah.
There you go. Power monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, our first gig, I think we got 70 people there, which is good for Berlin.
What's the vibe?
Hey?
What's the vibe
What?
of the Power
genre
Apes?
Oh, it's punk rock.
Okay. Oh, it's a punk rock. Okay, so you in the punk rock zone. That's awesome, dude.
Doing that. And yeah, it was good. And then since then we've done about just 4 shows. So it's just starting out, and we're hoping that as the world opens up, we'll get to play some more around Berlin and Europe. It's the dynamics is great because our drummer's from Chile,
Okay.
the singer's from Brazil, and then the guitarist is from Italy, and I'm from South Africa, and we all live in Berlin.
Wow, that's awesome.
If
So-
that doesn't paint a picture of what
Yeah,
Berlin
yeah,
is
for
like, I
sure.
don't know what does.
Yeah.
So the majority of the language being spoken is English, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But what you say, Chile? So it's Chile Spanish, right?
Brazil,
And
Italy.
Brazil, Portuguese.
Yeah. Chile, Brazil,
Italian, and then
Italiano.
South Afrikaner.
Exactly.
Have you ever played with any Germans?
In what way?
Like, okay, rephrase. Have you ever played in a band with Germans?
No.
Have you played with any Germans?
No.
My first question. Okay, sure. I mean, so, but do you guys hook up with German bands in terms of the guys that are, because that's how we did here, you know. I know this
networking
band.
between bands.
You contact this band. Hey man, can we get on this bill? Or we organizing show. We know of you. Get on this bill. How does it work there?
Well, the drummer's been living in in Berlin for, I don't know, like 18 years or something like that. It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a professional drummer, full-time musician, and yeah, he's just got so many. He's played in many projects over the years, so he's got a lot of contacts. So the first couple of shows have just been reaching out to contacts that he knows or I know. And we're just playing.
Well, I suppose you know a fair amount of people being there 6 years now.
Yeah, I mean, so that's kind of like the new project I'm involved in. I've for the last couple of years, I've been playing bass for an act called JPson. It's kind of fresh folk, roots music. Actually a South African guy named JP and he lives in Berlin. He's my neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's kind of a surfer and a snowboarder. So in the summer, he plays all the surf camps. So we go surfing,
cool.
and in the winter we go play all the ski resorts, that sort of thing. And it's been amazing. So that's been the main project that I've been involved with since 2019. Yeah.
Awesome, and it's based there as well, eh?
Yeah. So it was quite last year, or when the pandemic started, like all the international shows got cancelled and a lot of concerts got cancelled and that. So he actually got called for a lot of social distance shows and stuff like that. So we were busy in 20, and last year, 21, we toured a lot, played a lot of shows last summer, which was good. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool. I mean, I was a bit of a pansy in the beginning, you know. During the big, you know, you speak about the pandemic and, you know, social distance shows. I wouldn't be caught dead at one of those in the early days, you know. I was a paranoid
Android.
pansy. Huh?
Paranoid Android.
Paranoid Android, yeah, right. Like, it's actually quite cringy to think how bad I was in the beginning.
Dude, I mean, fuck. You can blame me, really. Most people were. I know I was.
But I still feel like I'm emasculated a little bit.
It's easy.
Just a little bit.
It's easy to say that now.
Appease me!
It's easy to say that now. I mean, I mean, I was also very careful myself and Carolyn.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, man, even when we did our first shows together, we were like, how's it?
Yeah, you know, elbows, like, keep the distance, spray the shit out of everything.
How far are we sitting away from each other?
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. And it's going to become eventually a parody. Like when, you know, I take it very seriously. And it's a very serious situation and has been. But, you know, just the level of caution I took, I think maybe have been a little bit step too far.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I maybe lost a couple of friends along the way as well.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah,
it's all good.
So tell me more about Power Apes. I mean, Power Apes.
Yeah. Maybe we should do it like the way Christopher Walken does Foo Fighters. Like put the accent on the second. So it's like on the Apes. Power Apes.
There you go.
Yeah. So go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, ask the question again.
Okay. How do you know the Power Apes? But it's so punk rock vibes. How long have you guys been together? You've played a couple of shows. Have you got any material that you're working on or that you've released or anything? Can we check it out? Is there anything that we can put in the link of the video and stuff for people to check out the band or JPson as well?
Yeah.
So people can check it out.
Okay, so Boris, the drummer, he's actually got a studio, and how it worked was, I think it was in 2018, Gabrielle and Renan, the singer, they started out as a duo, just writing songs, and they were looking for someone to record the album, and they reached out to Boris. Boris liked material, and then he just produced it and mixed it, recorded and mixed it. And then they didn't have a bass player, and Boris actually initially asked me in 2019 to play bass, and I said, no, I'd rather just focus on the JPson project. And was only last year after the summer I said, no, I'll join. And so that's where they had another bass player, Chris, but then he kind of left.
Was he German?
No, he was Italian.
So, another Italian?
Yeah, another Italian. So he left. I think he went back to Italy. And so, they asked me to play bass again, so I said yes this time. And that's where we said we're going to try push it properly. Yeah. And, so we've done 4 shows so far. It's all on Spotify and...
Sweet. Yeah, we'll link it
lines.
in the video when it comes out. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I'll dig to check it out.
It's all new, and I mean, the JPson project's going really well. JP, he's a booking agent in the daytime, and a musician in the evening time. So he's full-time music, and he's built up his project really, really well. He's got a good following now, and so that's like last summer was really, really busy, and I'm hoping that all that work will make a busy 22. I mean, he's booked me up for September, October already this year.
Nice.
You know, kind of, he's got a autumn tour booked already, which is good.
That's awesome.
So it's fun, you know.
Being a booking agent and an artist at the same time must
Yeah.
be a plus, though. Like
It is.
because you have the contacts and you have the reputation of being legitimate and reputable and all that kind of stuff, and then you've got a good product to go with it. So you can, kind of amalgamate the two to get the best offering.
Yeah. So JP and I, we work at a booking agency called Filter Booking. It's part of Filter Music. It's the two same gentlemen that found Milky Chance back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then they kind of disintegrated that record label, and they started Filter Music a couple of years ago. And so I just freelance for them, doing bookings and booking bands from different countries, trying to bring them to Europe.
So what kind of music is the JPson stuff? Because if it's just the two of you, is it just like
No, it's
There's four of them.
oh, the
it's
folk.
four.
Oh, you said
it's fresh folk. It's got roots reggae influence as well, and it's a really good project because I mean, he can play all the music by himself or
With
build
the
it
full
up
band.
with a full band. and-
Or just a ukulele.
exactly.
Oh, okay. So he's that kind of talented, eh?
Yeah, he's very good. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah. If you can just get up on stage with the ukulele, you got my respect.
yeah.
Even though I think ukulele is perfect for starting a fire, but yeah.
Hey, listen. That shit's surprisingly hard to play.
I don't care.
Yeah, and like a C is just one finger on the bottom, and then like the whole chord structure on a ukulele is like completely different to.
Fantastic.
And then different tuning. Check this guy. He's like, I don't like ukuleles.
I
I
don't.
cried once to a ukulele.
That's your problem. And there's only two
I was feeling
instruments.
really sad.
There's only two instruments that I dislike. That's a ukulele and a cowbell.
What about a triangle?
Triangles. I did a triangle solo before at a gig in Mercury.
Dude, like 16th.
Yeah, it was like with it was with Jedko Sue's band Cruel April.
Okay.
They played at Mercury, and I said, like, dude, can I jam with you guys? It's like, well, what do you want to play? And I just went jokingly, like, haha, triangle. And then, like, Rafe goes, like, I know someone's got a triangle. I was like, okay, cool, bring it. So then the show came, was like, here's your triangle. And he goes, which song you want to do? It's like, I want to do that one because you guys do a pause. So when you do the pause, I'm going to do like a full-on triangle solo. So like I'm on stage with them and I'm like pretending I don't know where the one is. So like I never hit the triangle, and then they do the pause and like fucking nuts. I'm like, and I jump in the crowd and everyone's like, yeah, like I back up and I count the
Did you have
band
a
in.
wireless pickup or what?
No, everyone, like the whole band just didn't do anything. So you could hear me.
Oh,
I
that's
did a
hilarious.
triangle solo. So when people go like, oh, play triangle in the band, it's like, I fucking did it.
Now we need to get you with a little dangling triangle just to get that little extra ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I could probably do like Rush.
Yeah. That's funny.
What is the major difference between A, booking gigs in Berlin versus Cape Town, and B, the gigging experience Berlin versus Cape Town?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Right. Yeah, I guess in South Africa in general, like, it's a bit easier because there aren't that many venues, and you kind of get to know, or when I was booking taxi at least, you get to know all the promoters, all the venue owners, or whoever's booking the venue. You kind of...
Is your chair okay there, bro?
Hey, man, I'm a heavy guy.
Yeah, you kind of just, phone up and say, hey, is this date available? You just... Cool, it's not a problem. And you just do... I don't know, we used to do Joburg, Pretoria. There's not many, the gigging scene was, there are not that many venues in South Africa,
Yeah.
And I guess in Europe, like we book all over Europe. So you've got your phone, you don't phone the club itself. Sometimes you do, but most of the time you phone someone who's booking the club, and you'll go, look, I want to tour Munich.
Yeah.
And he'll go, okay, cool, well, how big's your band? Blah, 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 blah. What sort of music? And then he'll place you at a venue that you want to play.
Wow, that's very different. That's very different.
Yeah, because it's almost like, hey guys, you want to play a gig? Yeah, let's play a gig.
What
cool.
venue?
Where do you want to go? Mercury. Cool. Let's call Mercury and see if there's a date. It's like, oh yeah, okay guys, we got this day, and this day, and then it's like, yeah, we can all play this day. Cool. Can we book this day? And then it's booked.
Yeah.
But I suppose this is more of like a wider kind of net that you're playing with.
I mean, because Berlin itself, there's a lot of venues, and then you go, there's so many cities, and every city's got a lot of venues, and then Europe, you just drive a few more hours and you're in another country, and then it's a whole another language, whole another network, and a whole, there's different cities in that country, and then every city's got, different venues, and then just do the whole circuit in Europe. So so very often you just phone, if you're doing agent work, you kind of just phone your promoters in every country, and they kind of, you say, look, I want my band to tour this time, in this period, can you book me some shows? And they kind of reach out and do all the promotion for the gig.
That's crazy.
That's very different.
It's very different.
Almost like you have to literally have a team of people
But
just to play gigs.
correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, I will.
Okay, well, let me. Don't they have like a music and arts program subsidized by the government in Germany? They have that in some.
They have that in Canada.
Yeah, they also have it in like Sweden.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where it's actually arts and music is actually a government assisted program to make sure that the arts continue.
I mean, as far as I know, there is one. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but one of our goals as the Power Apes is to go do a South American tour.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so Boris has a lot of contacts there, and that's a drummer. And because he's been living in Germany so long, I think he said we qualify for that, something like that. So hopefully we will be able to get some funds together.
Does it happen in like tiers? Like you reach a certain point, now you're eligible to be funded to go somewhere or something to that effect. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
In that kind, look,
I mean, any sort of funding is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a bonus if it does happen. So I guess, there's, with any sort of funding, there's a lot of red tape in that. And I think a lot of bands just give up. They don't look. So I think Boris was mentioning something about that. So I think we're just going to dig and dig and dig until we find something that works. Sure.
Yeah.
But when the pandemic did start, a lot of artists did. Germany was very good to the artists. They kind of said, look, we know you're all self-employed. And it wasn't just artists, it was like small businesses and that. And they kind of said, cool. And they said, how much do you need?
Wow.
Sort of thing, like, and they helped out a lot of independent.
If that happened
here,
they
go to Germany, bro.
If they did that here, they'd be like, how much do you need? We need like 2,000 rand a band. Cool. And then they steal it.
No, but I
thought something like that was going to come. Totally true. I mean, geez.
But there was this website.
Be said.
There was this website. It was like literally like when the pandemic was like everyone was panicking and it was like, oh, what are we going to do? And there was this website. You just had to stand in queue, and there was no questions asked. Was okay, fill in a number between 7,000 and 14,000 euros, sort of thing, and just kind of like maybe they will ask for documentation later. But I know a lot of people that did it, and 24 hours later, it was in their bank account.
Boom.
Yeah, so it was good.
Jeez. You were saying, so we were talking about the government assisting and all that kind of jazz in the arts and music industry from time to time with certain bands and all that kind of stuff, which I think is absolutely fascinating. If they're saying, this, blah, 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 how big, and do they actually do research to be like, okay, so they've got so many followers? Because, the internet rules the world at the moment where followers and following counts. So do they go and like research? Oh, these guys have got 100,000. I'm being serious, dude.
I know you're being serious, and I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Like some lady called Gertrude going through Instagrams like Power Apes.
Yeah.
They say they've been playing. Okay, let me find a website. All this. No, I don't see it happening. I don't.
But I mean, it could be criteria because surely that's how
Could
they
be.
decide. Maybe.
Do you have any recordings? Are you represented? Maybe that kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, I think it would be more like you put forward a proposal. So you go, look, we need funding. Why do you need funding? Because we want to do this. Okay, justify
any
the cost.
investment, really.
Yeah. So we want to go on this tour. It's going to cost X amount, and you get invitation letters from the promoters or venues on that side or wherever you want to tour, and then they put it all together, and then they either go yay or nay, I guess.
Not a sponsor. I love it.
But thank you.
I just saw him so carefully turning it around. I was like, yes, they need to pay
this
for
castle
that.
light?
Listen, we are far too small, but we do make jokes about that every now and again. But that's awesome. And so you're doing the punk rock vibe, you're doing like the folk vibe with JPson. Now, you were in Taxi Violence. What is your core enjoyment in terms of music? Like, what are the genres you enjoy? Let me pick your brain in terms of some sort of bands, because what I like to do in this show, and as you know, is I like to find some gems, because I want to know what you like and give me a band that I need to go check out. Oh my god, we're going down a rabbit hole right now.
We were going through his CD collection. The other
Okay,
bands.
sick. Well, let's talk about
So
it.
it's very, very varied and mixed. I honestly am one of those people that just likes anything that is, if it's good, it's good.
100%, I'm with you.
Besides jazz, I'm not a jazz.
You know why they call it free
Unfortunately,
jazz?
sorry
Because no
to
one will
anyone.
pay for it.
Can I
No offense to anyone who likes jazz,
Can I
but-
counter that just quickly?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I've discovered this Jacob Collier dude. Do you know who he is?
That genius guy that writes music words on MIDI.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, he did that.
No, he's brilliant. I mean, I watch him on Instagram. That's entertaining. But
yeah,
I mean, would I buy a ticket to go watch him live? There's probably some other rock concert, for example, I'd rather go to.
Sure.
So when you've got choices,
yeah.
maybe. But if it's the only thing to do on a Tuesday, I'm like, maybe.
Okay.
I
I'd
suppose
love to see him
yeah.
live because it's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean that if it's good, it's good. So as an experience, yeah. So, but it just in general, am I looking through, online? There's on Spotify. There's endless amounts of music.
Yeah,
am I
sure.
going through the jazz archives? No.
No, sure, no, 100%. I get that.
Very muff.
But I found this dude so phenomenal. We'll get to that. Your suggestions now, but I went down that rabbit hole yesterday. I was like, the only thing that made me think of is I quit because he's so good. It's like
It's pitch perfect.
pitch perfect. Does like 67 layers of vocals on like a track. I
Only,
know.
geez, so it's little. Wow.
No, but it's just so strange. Like,
That's excessive.
but he's playing half sharp notes, like notes in between the root note, and it's insane. Anyway, but I would suggest anybody who is interested in music and theory and stuff like that to check him out because it's fascinating. And he does like full mixed. He does full. What do you call it? What does he call it? Logic sessions. And it's like an hour and a half, and he explains every track and every.
I think I've seen this
awesome.
cat before online.
He's really good, and he's younger than all of us, and
Yeah,
it's
fuck him.
it's crazy.
Sell all your gear, give up.
Yeah. So tell me about what say. Give me your top 5 Spotify playlist right now.
Right now,
Yeah, what tickles your taint?
Yes.
okay. So
The Tentickler.
Rion from Taxi, he just introduced me to a band called Fontaine's DC.
Okay.
And they're really post-punk. Yeah, they're from Dublin City. That's the DC part of the name. I'm loving their 2 albums. They're about to drop a new album. They just dropped the first single. That's really cool. But, yeah, just let's see. We were listening to yesterday The Cure, Disintegration, and that's kind of like one of my all-time favorite bands.
Disintegration is the best album ever!
King Gizzard, anything they bring out is amazing. Have you heard this stuff?
No.
King
Dude,
Gizzard.
I mean, I'm listening to all this, and I'm gonna go back to the episode.
Okay.
Take all of these names and
King
download
Gizzard
them.
and the Lizard Wizard.
King Lizard,
King Gizzard. And
Gizzard, and the Lizard Wizard.
Yeah, they're from Australia, and
Fucking
they kind of
Australians.
they bring out like 7 albums.
Australians are awesome when it comes to music.
They got this thing where they just releasing more music than the fans can keep up with.
Wow,
I think they did like 7 albums in 1 year or something like that. It's just ridiculous. Yeah.
How do they do that though? It's
I don't
like,
know.
jeez, what is the selection criteria? I'd go mad.
I don't know.
That's crazy. 7 albums in 1 year.
Well, something like that. Don't
10,
quote me on it.
10 songs an album. That's 70 songs a year.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. I
Must
mean, you
have
go look at
been
the
so
discography, and it's just like albums after albums after
Yeah.
albums.
They must have like a method or something.
Yeah. Speaking of Australians, just on the Australian bit, we were listening to 12 Foot Ninja. Do you know 12 Foot Ninja?
Yeah.
Dude, their videos are hilarious.
Their
The way
videos are
they
hilarious.
portray their music is just amazing. You
Yeah.
know, remember the one where they were all dressed up and they're like, mate, how's it going, mate?
I remember the one
can't
where it goes
remember
between like different movie styles. Like first they're like in a band, and then all of a sudden there's like ninjas and
Yeah.
some shit like that. I can't remember.
Now, a band that I think that has kind of taken that formula and has kind of gone with it and from a different area is Don Broco.
Yes. Yeah,
It's
which
like
I
that
showed
same
you.
kind-
Yeah, Don
Dude,
Broco from Manchester.
I'm obsessed. Obsessed.
They're fun, eh?
I got my gold shield.
It's
so good.
Don Broco, like, I don't know if you've seen it, but Don Broco is like if people with actual music talent took the type of popular like dance and hip hop kind of shit, and then they mixed it in with a little bit of like metal tones. So it sounds like the shitty TikTok background music crap, but they actually make it listenable.
I love the way how you make it sound so
And they're
trashy.
from Manchester, and they are humorous.
Okay.
They got one of their biggest stage songs, like it's the T-shirt song.
Shit.
Whenever they play the T-shirt song, like kids are like throwing their T-shirts up in the air and stuff. It just goes like nuts. It's rad. I'll send you one video. My favorite one, Greatness.
It's been a long night. I'm gonna call me an Uber.
Yeah, like that kind of vibe. But
So good.
it's not like indie. It's not metal. It's not rock. It's more like pop.
It's
but it's like Brit pop if it came out today with like pop music.
Okay.
It's a genre soup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's total mixed match,
Yeah.
but it's hilarious. And you listen to it the first couple of times, you go like, "What is this crap?" Then afterwards, it's like, "I get it. This is cool."
Yeah, dude, it's so good. We must show you.
Okay.
Not all of
just
it
a
is
clip.
absolutely 100% brilliant, but they got some gems in there, definitely.
Yeah, some mad gems, and their new album looks like it's gonna be absolute fire. So I can't wait to check it out. But where we were going on, so like,
What else? There's another band. I think they're from Norway. They're called Pompoko.
Pompoko.
Yeah, Pompoko. It's out there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's check them out. This bunch of kids. They're like very young, like 20s, I think, and they just doing out there stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they all are jazz trained, but they're doing this avant-garde sort of rock, and the guitarist is crazy. How I found them was I was just on, I think on Facebook or something like that, or I just found them somewhere. Suggestion came up on Spotify. I was like, oh, this is quite awesome. And then I was like, oh, when they're playing Berlin, the thing you do, and it's like, oh, they're doing the album release tonight, and it's a free show. And so I was like, it was literally around from the corner from my work. So I finished work and then went down, stood in queue, got in, watched them, bought the vinyl.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, that's how I found them, and that was
That's how nice
crazy.
accessible music is.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That's the other thing that I noticed, like as a difference between Europe and South Africa, that your merchandise will be sold out in Europe. Over here, you get like a couple of people buying a T-shirt here and there because they say like, the T-shirt, that's like, 10 beers. I'm not going to buy a T-shirt. But like when I went up to...
Damn, where they getting beers?
charge a
I wanna
T-shirt for
go where they are to
180
get
bucks.
beers.
Yeah, but it's like I went up with half price. We had to cancel 2 shows, and we ended up playing 1 show. But that 1 show, we sold the entire merchandising allotment that we had with us. We made our money back from merchandising.
But that's where it's all made. You don't
Yeah,
make
but-
money off
but-
streaming and
Yeah, but
CD
Europe,
sales and
they
shit.
go nuts for merchandise. Like if they're selling like vinyls or CDs or T-shirts, people will 80% of the people will buy something to leave
Yeah.
the show. I did that when I was in UK when I went to go watch Korn and whatever. If I had money, I went to go buy a shirt because like I want to fucking.
I have always done that, dude. I'm a merch dude. Like I've got half price shirts. I've got bottom feeder shirts. I've got. I'm maybe wearing my own.
What are you, an Iron Maiden? It's like wearing your own band shirt.
Shameless self-indulgence, right here. But I mean, this band hasn't been active for a very long time, so I've got an excuse.
Link below.
It's just a t-shirt.
Link below.
It's just a t-shirt that's clean. Yes. But yeah, I love going to a show, and I always, you say allotted. I always made sure that I was gonna go get a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's you. And there might be like 5 other people maybe at the venue. But in Europe, it's like 5 people might not buy, but the rest will. It's like...
What's the difference? Why do people...
Disposable
why are people
income. That's. I think the folk have more money to spend over there.
It's like they just want to they want to have a piece. If you've got a CD, they'll buy the CD. And when I say they will, it sounds like every single person in the venue does, but it's obviously not the case.
Well, I mean, if you're selling 30 t-shirts, that's 30 people.
It's like 5% of the people here will buy a t-shirt, but 5% of people there won't buy a t-shirt. That's the difference.
Everyone's like, do you have Snapscan?
Yeah, do you have... Yeah, man, it's like I always see like the merch table at gigs here. And it's like, quite sparse. Like there'll be some people that have t-shirts. And it's like you say, disposable income. Most people here don't really have or don't want to, make it look like they do. Or I don't know what the deal is.
The shitty thing about
I'm
merch
not being a dick. I'm just saying that's what I see. Yeah.
The problem is if you're doing it independently and you're going to be that poor fucker to put that however many grand to get those 50 or 100 t-shirts.
Yeah.
You kind of can only make the money back once you've sold a certain amount of t-shirts. You may have some left over, but you have to sell a certain amount to break even from what you initially spent. So I don't think a lot of people are very keen on that because it's like, but it's also a trust factor. How much do you trust yourself to market the stuff to sell it?
Yeah. My experience in Cape Town specifically, no one really buys merch. Like if you got like a box full of t-shirts, you might as well just bring a handful of t-shirts because you're going to sell it.
I saw many t-shirts at gigs and stuff, but I didn't see much change at the merch tables. Like everybody would go for a lack of squiz and be like, I would love to have that.
Yeah, they go, how much is this? It's $200. Maybe later. Maybe later. And then they spend $200 on beer.
They're like, I'm pissed now, I can't afford a t-shirt.
But it's like anything, I guess, like the bigger the band and their brand, kind of everyone like sheep, so they'll buy it, But if it's a new band, that's kind of like, but that is another difference between, I would say, South Africa and Europe, is people go early and they watch the support act. They will stand in front of the stage and
Listen, I just saw a vein on Art's face. You acted. It was your fault. You activated the vein.
But
we know all too well about that.
But it's the best because bands are. If it's good, it's good, right? Just because you're there for the main act doesn't matter. The support act, watch them, and chances are you're going to find the next big thing. Or and I found a couple of bands like that. There was another band. I went to go watch the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's like breakfast and dinner at the same time.
It's like our satanic dacha orgy band.
Yes, yeah.
And the
Don't be a puss bilaka, bro.
The support act was Culver Louisa. They're from, I think from England.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I started following them. That's how I found that band.
UK is not
and
like
they're probably on Spotify and,
Yeah.
and all that.
Definite. Really
Do they give the opening bands like crap if they suck? Or are they still quite respectful?
No, bands.
You can't tell a band they suck, really.
No, because the only reason why I'm saying is because in London they don't give a shit.
Is it?
Yeah, I've seen a few times when like the opening band that they weren't good, and then people were trying to get them off stage by like shouting and throwing stuff. They just want them off because they're sucking so much.
People are brutal, bro.
And if the last band sucks, which I have seen with my own fucking eyeballs, the band Real Big Fish?
Yes.
Okay, I went to go watch Real Big Fish. It was Zebrahead, Real Big...
Zebrahead?
Yeah, Zebrahead, Goldfinger.
Like Flavor of the Year, Zebrahead.
Yeah, and
Fuck
Goldfinger.
You, man. I wanted to see that band.
Goldfinger and Real Big Fish. And Real Big Fish was like the last band. after the second or third song, people started leaving. They the venue emptied. There was like 100 people left behind for the rest of the show because they were so bad. People just fucked off. Would that happen in Germany?
Yeah, well, I guess people are people. If they're not enjoying it,
They're
they're not
bolt.
going to. Yeah, they're not going to stay around to be
The
polite.
reason why I'm saying is because like Germans they cold but they're polite.
9! I'm out of here.
It's like you are not very good, but I'm going to watch you regardless.
What time does the band start? 9!
Yeah.
Dad joke, sorry about that.
Videos banned. In Germany.
Yeah, oh shit.
That's like my how many Germans does it take to change a light bulb joke?
Well, how many?
Well, guess.
9!
Yeah. Because like you say it, you go like, how many Germans does it take to change a light bulb? The guy goes, I don't know, 1, and you just shout immediately, 9! I caught some
We
people out
love
in
German
great-
people.
Yeah,
in
I love
this
the Germans.
episode.
I love Germany. I've
Yeah.
been there twice. I fucking loved it. It was great.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's cool. It's a
What's
cool
your favorite part in Berlin, though?
country.
Your favorite place?
Favorite place?
Yeah, like area or whatever. Because I remember going through by Brandenburg Gate in that main Strasse. I keep forgetting the name of that road. But like, it was the weirdest thing because like we were walking from Friedrichshain to Alexanderplatz, and then we just carried on walking. And then as we were approaching Brandenburg Gate, like the atmosphere in the air fucking
Brandenburg
changes.
Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that a place in Germany?
yeah. It's like
It's the main gate.
it's like the main gate to Germany, and it was like where the
It's basically east and
Okay.
west.
yeah.
you know.
It's like as we were approaching it, like the atmosphere there was, it just felt like it was changing. I don't know if it was because it's the first time I've seen Brandenburg Gate and seeing new buildings next to old buildings that have bullet holes in them still, it's fucking hectic.
Yeah.
But it's like, I felt like a hectic change, and I was like, it's incredible. But it's like a weird kind of feeling. Like you feel like some serious history went down here.
Yeah. Well, some serious history did go down
Yeah,
there, bro.
but I felt it. I don't know if it's a natural thing, but then we went into like there's that park right by Brandenburg Gate, and then we went through like walkway through the park, and there was a statue that was still there. I don't know if you've seen it. It's still riddled with bullet holes.
Yeah.
And I was like standing looking at the thing for like 10 minutes. I'm like, this is fucking heavy. It's like, but like even with the history, which sucked ass. I mean, the city was, I fucking love that city, man. I'd really love to go.
No,
back.
it's great. I mean, like anything on the east side, because you get east and west, and anything on the east side is cool. And I stay in an area called Weissensee.
That's the place I was trying to tell the bus driver where it was, and he couldn't
Okay.
understand my accent. And he was like, I don't know. And he just carried drivers like, I'm on the wrong bus. Where do I go?
You go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Weissensee, it's kind of outside the middle.
Weissensicht.
Weissensee.
Weissensee. Weissensee.
And yeah, it's really chill. It's right by a lake, and so it's really quiet when you want it to be. Otherwise, you just get on your bike and you ride 4Ks, and then you in the middle of the chaos, sort of thing.
Sure.
My favorite thing is like by the crossings where you walk across, like the Green Man changes is like in East Berlin. It's the Green Man in East Berlin to West Berlin is totally different. Like West Berlin is the way we normally think of it,
Yeah.
but the East Berlin is like totally like this kind of like, it's almost like communist kind of graffiti, like art style. No, it's like very blocky, and
Is it?
it's rad. Like you go like one side of the street to the next, and then even the traffic lights are different. It's awesome.
Yo.
East to west.
It just goes like Green Man.
So even the traffic signs are different.
Yeah, between just the robots.
Yeah, just the robots.
Yeah, so the green man, red man. So you'll know from the traffic
Yeah, you'll
traffic
be able to
lights
tell
if you're
what
in the east
part
or
you're in.
west.
Yeah.
I just find that so fascinating, man. Like, I mean, when you go overseas, I've only been a couple of times. I lived in America for a bit. We chatted a bit about snowboarding and stuff before when we first met. It's like everything seems so much bigger.
Yeah.
Bigger. It's like when I was in America, packed of chips with the size of this fucking fireplace,
Yeah.
And you get a large McDonald's thing, and your large here is like that big, and your large there is like a freaking 2 liter.
Well, Americans. fat ass.
But everything just seems. The doors of cathedrals are like, how's it?
Yeah. Yeah, like you
In
can't
Germany,
get them in
you know?
your camera, in your picture.
Yeah. It's like you got to go stand at the real base and actually.
Yeah. Well, we take for granted here in South Africa a lot of things. Like we have a lot of space in South Africa. You've got a house, you've got a driveway with a car. Some folks have a pool. Whereas in Berlin, everyone's got an apartment, and 50 to 80 square meters is good.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
there's
space in the living sense of the word is a little bit smaller.
Yeah. In Berlin, within the ring, I guess there's about 4 million people, and that's maybe a 30-kilometer across. Dang. So it's a lot of people on top of each other, and it's just
dude. Fucking, I love the stuff like those traffic lights. But what other kind of weird things are in Berlin?
Let's see. There's a lot of stuff that wouldn't work here. For example, the renter cars. I haven't had a car since 2014. I started when I left South Africa. But over there, they've got these cars, all BMWs or smart cars, and they're on the side of the road. And you download the app, and you sign up, put your credit card details in, and then it's kind of like Uber. So you can see where the closest cars are. You kind of reserve the car. You go up to the car. You press the button, the car unlocks. And then you can just drive the car. You pay per minute. Drop it off anywhere you want. And then you kind of... so it's really convenient. So
what is this sorcery? Seriously, is that how they do
sometimes if you go shopping and you've just bought more than you thought you'd have, you need a car, you just go, there's one over there. You get in the car, you drive it home, put the car next to your home, and then walk upstairs. So stuff like that, it's amazing. It works. I don't think it would work here.
No, it definitely won't work here. It definitely won't work here.
I wonder why. No, just kidding.
I saw something similar to that, but it was with bicycles in London. Barclays bikes.
Yeah. They're all painted yellow or something to that.
These ones are
effect
blue.
Yeah, or something. They're all painted some kind of. But there was an article that came out shortly after that happened about all these bicycles going missing. So London, it might not be possible. But cars, it's kind of a little bit of a different story. Sure, they've got all got trackers attached. Sure, they've all got certain security systems.
But it's there's a QR or a scanner that you have to scan.
How do you open the
car?
car?
It's just when you're close to the car, you just press unlock, and then the car unlocks.
Oh shit! Yeah, so it's all wireless.
Yeah.
Dude, that's nuts. That's nuts.
A couple of funny things have happened. One time I crashed one of them.
Now we get into the real story. Eh?
No. I had an electric car for the first time.
Okay.
I've never driven one. It was a very weird feeling.
Dude, you want to tell him which one it was?
I don't know.
BMW i3.
What? So are they putting BMWs out in the street?
It's all BMWs or Mini Coopers or smart cars or.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They're keeping within the group.
This is Germans, yeah.
Mini Cooper and BMW are the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
And I think the car. I was late for work, so I thought, okay, the only way I'm going to get to work on time is I take one of these cars. And so I was going through, taking all the back roads. I'm like, I'm going to make it. And then the last bend, as I went around, I think bicycles have the right of way, so the car in front of me stopped, and I was going through an intersection, and I didn't see the car stop.
Bam.
So that wasn't cool.
So, but now what happens then? Do they contact you and be like, sorry, sir, you've damaged the vehicle?
So I think you covered, just pay the excess. So it cost me about, I think, €300.
Okay, that's not that bad.
Plus the rental.
Well, €300 is quite bad.
But then it's that's it. You don't have to worry about your car.
It's amazing they charge per minute.
Yeah, you get there's two companies. One charges per minute, and the other one charges per kilometer. So you can choose which one. I prefer the kilometer one because a lot of the time you can get there quickly, but then you spend 15 minutes
because then you
looking
spend
for
20 minutes because there's traffic, and meanwhile you've only gone 500 meters.
Yeah.
15 minutes looking for parking?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
The
I would go absolutely haywire.
If
I spend 15 minutes looking for parking anywhere, there's going to be hell.
It's like Long Street times 100.
Dang.
And then the one time, so I had this old Huawei phone, whatever, and the battery life was horrendous. So I got one of these. I got into one of these cars, and cool, driving somewhere, and along the way, I'm like, oh shit, battery's gonna die. And the next thing, the battery dies on my phone. I'm like, so you can't end the rental because when you get out, you've got to end rental, and then it locks and it charges you. So I'm like, oh shit. So now I had to drive around 15 minutes looking for parking, find the parking. I can't lock the car, and I'm like parked a couple of blocks from the office. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm running to the office. Hi everyone, plug in the phone. Wait, 2%. All right, run back to the car. Lock the car. So that was a really expensive rental.
I wonder how many times that must actually happen quite a lot.
Oh, I don't know, but it
has
Dude,
to
how
happen to me.
amazing
And
is that though?
Yeah.
Man, I feel like we're missing out here.
Hey.
No, but there's everything. I mean, you get like starting from the top, you get obviously the U-Bahn, S-Bahn, you get the trams, you get the buses, you get all the taxis and the Ubers. You can do the rent-a-car thing, then you get rent-a-bikes, then you get rent-a-scooters, like proper, like Vespa, not Vespas, but that sort of scooters. And then you get those electric...
Scooters.
Also scooters.
Yeah.
The handlebars like this.
Yeah.
You get those as well. And
Or Segway.
No, it's not a Segway.
No, I'm joking.
Scooter thingies. But yeah, so there's a lot of ways you can get around Berlin, so it's quite cool.
That's great. And you say 4 million odd people in a
It's
30
round about
kilometer
there, 3.5,
radius.
4 million.
That's saturated, like.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we've got a 2.6 million. We Cape Town, same population as New Zealand.
Wow.
As New Zealand, the country. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
How's that, eh?
Fucking New Zealanders.
I love the New Zealand.
Yeah, me too. I like them more than Australians.
Kia ora.
I once stayed with a New Zealand couple in London. I couldn't understand a word they were saying because they were probably from some fucking farm region. Their accent was so thick that they tried to have conversations with me like multiple times. I'm like, yeah, I've got to go. Sorry, I've got a thing. Bye. I don't even remember their names. I had a conversation with them probably once, and most of it was me like, huh? And they just go, yeah. It was like, couldn't understand what they were saying.
But New Zealand, like, no, New Zealand,
Their accent was so thick.
They kind of sound a little bit like us, but more dry, like this.
Yeah,
Push.
but dude, it was like if you try and speak New Zealand, but you're like this, that's what they sounded like. It's like, would you go to Moduku? But like,
This video has been flagged.
It was so weird. It was like there's dialects in Ireland where like there's this video online that
Like Gaelic.
It's like this Irish guy that no one can understand him, but like people in his village, whatever, and he's like being interviewed by the news, and it's just like, and it's like, what did he say?
Yeah.
It's like that. I couldn't understand. Fucking.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of New Zealand, while we're on that, I've been following this dude. He is so awesome. He's actually picked up a lot, and he's been picked up by networks. He's doing a podcast and everything. His name's Uncle Tex, and he's a Maori guy, and he's got Tourette's, and his videos are amazing. His podcast is amazing. He really spreads such a positive message. Nothing in his videos are negative or anything like it. It's always just so uplifting. So check it out.
But what kind of Tourette's though? Because Tourette's isn't
Like
normally
a tick
like the
is like,
swearing is like it's like a tick is
like
could be.
no, he has like the full on
like
ticks
that.
and stuff, and he goes, sit on my face, and
Okay.
and he goes,
Yeah, because
you're a big
they-
fat butch.
Yeah.
There we go. You're a big
fat
fat butch. That's the New Zealand accent.
Yeah. No, because like I
A
mean,
big fat butch.
Tourette's is got like a range to it. I mean, you get
Yeah,
Tourette's, which is like just like a tick, but then you get the guys.
You get the
that are like,
very severe. There was
Yeah.
a girl that went viral during the pandemic where she had severe Tourette's, and they had to continuously get PCR tests.
Oh,
And
geez.
you can see her trying to get the PCR test, and it's like, it's not. It's funny in a humorous way because she shared it and it was her story.
yeah.
But like, can you imagine living
Yeah.
with that shit?
She could kill
my
herself.
goodness.
It's like be like
Yeah.
in the
But
brain.
she's like,
Wow.
she's ticking, and then she tunes the fuck yeah. But yeah, it's cool that people like that are sharing the story because it's very,
Yeah.
there's many other people out there that feel like super down about their condition, all that kind of stuff. So it's cool that other people are creating awareness to go, oh, okay, well, it's not that bad. Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Wow. Positive message for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tourette's people are people too.
This video has been flagged by YouTube. But dude, so we were speaking earlier about your activities, your outdoor activities and all that kind of stuff. You mentioned snowboarding. You just got into it. Berlin's currently not very snowy, but snowy. What are your vibes outside of music and the day job, as we discussed off air as well?
Let's see.
How do you put this lightly?
No, well,
Before you answer,
yeah.
you look like a dude that skates. You look like a dude that surfs. You look like a dude that snowboards, and just does punk rock.
Yeah. So yeah, I've skated my whole life, but it's something I haven't done for a long time. But I still consider myself a skater. But
Amen.
Exactly. When I joined the JPson project, I surfed for the first time. I grew up in Cape Town, but I never surfed. So I actually went out on the water and kind of learned to surf. I'm pretty shit at it, but
Yeah,
I tried it.
How
It's,
going in there for the first time?
Yeah.
How do your shoulders die
They do.
It's like
Exactly.
and you walk and you like can hardly move your arms.
I
For the
physically
rest of the
can't
day.
surf. I can't get my
you
leg
got
up
that
on.
short-
I
you got
can't get
that
my
short
leg
guy.
up on the board to even stand up. I keep
Okay.
falling over.
It's all about fluidity.
Yeah.
Getting up on the board.
Springboard.
So just spring it up and make sure that the pressure is on both sides, so you don't go.
Yeah. I can't. I just get dunked the
Yeah.
whole time, and I was like,
But it's fun
It's
at the
fun,
same
it's
time. You know
awesome,
what? There's nothing more exfoliating than a whitewash to the face.
Or like face plant into
Yeah,
the
exactly.
beach sand.
It is the best feeling ever. It's like, I'm doing shit, but it's actually you walk out there and you're like, I feel a little bit sun-kissed and tired and I need to go sleep, but I feel like I got all the sun in the world that I need.
But it can't be as difficult as snowboarding though.
no, snowboarding actually picked up quite
Easy.
easily. Funny
Yeah.
enough, yeah.
But you can't move your ankles. That is what would fuck me
It's
up.
all about the weight distribution
Exactly.
on the front and the back and on the toe and the heel.
Yeah.
And
Shit.
it's how you set your bindings as well. So as long as you got your bindings set in a decent position, usually it's your lead leg.
Pointing.
So if you're orthodox, it'll be your right, your left, and if you goofy, it'll be your right. So as long as your
Leading foot.
leading foot is a little bit out, and then you've got a, I used a little like a kind of like a duck kind of style. As soon as you get that weight distribution, you can carve like a motherfucker. I mean, I went to Keystone.
Okay.
So you get Frisco, Breckenridge, Vale, Keystone, Silverthorne, and then you get South Park. And I hope I got that right, but it's something like that. So Breckenridge was like the main resort where I worked, and then Keystone was where I lived for the first like 2 months or whatever. No, month. And Keystone was lit up at night. Had like floodlights going right from the. They obviously only had a few. Mm-hmm. The main slopes open at night, but I didn't have goggles, didn't have a beanie.
Yeah.
It was ridiculously cold. My mates had to go get rescued by the snowmobile and taken back down the mountain. We were waiting out for him. We were like, where are you going? He got back. He's like, I've got altitude sickness and I don't feel good and I'm tired and I feel sick. But I learned the concept literally in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
By just falling down, getting up, falling down. Then you realize, then it's just this weight
You've got to
distribution.
stay on your rails,
Yeah.
basically. But yeah, I think it was I can't remember, we went on a winter tour, and I think it was my third day trying or something like that. And I nearly rode off a cliff. So we went off piste, and I was following this guy, and it was just him and I, and he was way ahead of me. So I kept falling. You know, when you're powder and trying to pick yourself up, it's a full body
Yeah,
workout.
it's hectic.
And so I got
Find
myself
a
up.
tree.
Yeah, if there are any.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just balancing, and your ankles are in there.
Yeah.
And you're like pulling yourself up. And so anyway,
Can be quite stressful at times as well.
Yeah.
and then I got myself up, carried on going, and I was following this track. It was fresh powder.
Beautiful.
Amazing. And then next thing I saw the track go like, and I was like, huh? And I was like, hmm? And I checked him sitting there. I was like, oh, let me just sit on my ass, see what's happening. And as I did, I realized I went into this big valley.
Yeah, dude.
It took me about half an hour to get out of there, just walk through the snow. Just like, so waist high.
Waist high powder.
Yeah, it's just, quite
That's
high.
beautiful. And that's when you glide. That's when you feel, it's like you literally feel like you're floating on cloud.
Don't you find it weird, like a skateboard, you hear the wheels exert that sound when you're on powder?
It's like, you know what it
like,
sounds like? It sounds like plastic.
Yeah.
You know when plastic that's how it sounds.
It's weird. And when you got this, like, the goggles on, it's just this, like, tunnel vision. And it's weird. It's like misty.
But it's just so...
I dig it.
It's free. It almost feels like you're floating.
Yeah.
But...
I have to try this shit out.
Yo, dude, it's
That's cool.
so
I'm
rad.
not great at it, but I love it. It's very, very cool.
But the one very important thing that he said is, like, keep staying on your rails. If you flatten a snowboard, you just go like that.
Yeah.
And then if you're on the rails, you've got definitely... You carve that. It's obviously lean forward, you carve into that direction. Lean back, you carve into the other. Oh, it's just...
The worst is when you're going fast, and suddenly you slide at a weird angle, and then your rails dig in, and then you suddenly go face block.
I mean, there was one... I was going down Breckenridge. Was the main Peak 8. Because Breckenridge at the time had the Imperial Express, which was the highest... it was the highest ski lift in North America. It was like 13,000 feet above sea level. And we hit this thing going down, and obviously it starts with a bit of powder, and then it gets down to like the main slope. It was about springtime, so obviously it dumps, and then the sun comes out, and then the snow turns to ice. So yeah, I'm rocking, and I'm having the greatest day with my mate, rocking. And I must have been going at least between 50 and 60. I don't know if that's fair. Maybe 50 k's an hour.
Come on, let's make it 100.
No. I mean, like, hell, man. Just bombing down the hill, and my nose hit a piece of ice.
Ooh.
And I just did a full Superman. It was hectic. And then that same week, it was the last week before we were leaving to come back to South Africa. And I decided, no, fuck this. I'm hitting that kicker that I've never hit before in the 6 months that I was there. Went there and I landed straight on my coccyx. Ooh. It was a very, very exciting flight home. I had to like lie on my stomach. Luckily, there were 3 chairs available. I could not sit.
Wow.
It was insane. That was crazy.
He broke his coccyx. He nearly died off a cliff. Fun times.
Hey, listen.
It's a great sport.
Listen, I mean, like, I don't want to give any but there's been skiing accidents are, as you know, can be brutal.
Mm-hmm. But what else? Other than that, when the pandemic hit, we weren't allowed to go out that much, but I bought a stand-up paddle because there's a lot of lakes just out of the city. So, it's just going onto a lake, take your paddle. It's one of those pump-up stand-up paddles. Just go on the water, just chill there. And I got one of those table braais. It's an indoor braai. You can put it on a table, and it's got this charcoal. It takes charcoal that doesn't smoke. It's a smokeless braai. And the cool thing is it doesn't get hot underneath. So I actually took it on a stand-up paddle, went to the middle of the lake, switched it on, put some
had a
meat
little braai there by yourself in the middle of the lake.
Sent me a video
You're
clip
a very
of that.
resourcul human being, eh?
Yeah, he sent me a video clip of that. He's like showing like on the river. It's just like, there we go.
So, I mean, but what makes you think of doing something like that?
I don't know. Man's got a braai.
Yes.
Now, you don't get to do it. That's one thing you don't do proper on that side. You don't go out and buy a bag of wood.
Yeah.
And kind of like you get charcoal, you light it, you put the meat on, you eat, and you go home. It's not this whole thing that
it's not a good idea. It's not ons gaan nou braai.
It's not a ritual.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel about that?
It sucks.
It does suck.
No, that's one of the highlights of coming home. You get to do it.
A braai is an event.
Yeah.
In our terms, it's like we're going to a braai. Yeah, ons gaan nou fucking braai. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I want a braai right now. I don't have any meat though, but I'm excited.
Yeah, we can braai something.
Yeah, maybe we can. But dude, geez, how rad has it been having you on the show? I've never met you before.
Yeah.
It seems like we click super hard. Thank you so much for organizing, bro. You guys are mates. Now we're mates. It's all good.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy. I hope you've enjoyed your stay in Cape Town. How has it been for you? Has it
It's been
been...
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
This, it's
where-
either this or like -7 and snow and sludgy.
Yeah,
rain,
you prefer
so
this kind of vibe.
definitely. Yeah, I've been in the pool the
Yeah.
last couple of days.
Yeah,
It's been
for sure.
amazing. You know.
Plus, you're a little smaller than me, so you probably can handle the heat a little bit better than us big fellas. Because I've been suffering, bro.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's been fan central and aircon central, but you know, it's like in wintertime, I'm gonna end up complaining. You know, oh, it's too cold. What do I prefer, the heat or the cold?
Yeah.
It's like nobody's ever satisfied, so I just
Exactly.
need to buck the fuck up and have a glass of cement.
Man up.
Very muff.
Very muff, 100%.
Okay.
But Jason, dude, thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you.
Super excited to listen to Power Apes and JPson. Please hit us up with the it's the GoPro.
It's the GoPro.
Hit us up with some with the links and stuff so we can share it in
Yeah.
the video. I'd really love to check it out. Send my regards to your new bandmates, your old bandmates.
Yeah.
We had old Georgie on here. That was a great episode.
Yeah,
that was
that
like a long chat as well.
Yeah, we need to get him in here again.
We need to get him in person. This is
Yeah.
it's so much better having the dudes in person.
Yeah,
So-
definitely. I mean, like me being overseas, like you always do the Skypes or the WhatsApp chats, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the
as
same.
just, catching up.
Well, the last one we were chatting to Human Nebula. I will even say it, where the delay made me feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like I was like, so much fun having you in studio, dude. I'm looking forward to hearing your tunes. You here for another week?
Yeah.
So enjoy the next week, dude, and safe travels back to Berlin. And let's keep in touch.
Definitely.
Any new music that comes out, please hit it our way so we can share it on our socials and all that kind of stuff to support the scene over there, and connect us with some guys that we can chat to in Berlin as well. Some of your mates that we can get. Those are when the Zoom interviews and conversations count, when we're not in the same
flights.
place. Yeah.
We don't pay to get them here.
So let's do that. Let's connect with some of your guys. But all in all, such a great conversation with you, and look forward to seeing you again soon, if not on the screen, in person.
Yep. Well, maybe next time I come down,
100%.
we'll book another chat.
Sick as.
Anything from your side, dude?
Yeah, cheers and stay cold.
Stay cold. Stay cool, motherfuckers. This is Papa G's house. I don't know what episode it is, but it's been a great one. From myself, Arthur Carlos Diego Pereira III, and Jason Ling. We'll see you next time. Peace.
I don't wanna go anywhere else. I wanna go to Papa Jesus. Yeah, that's where we're going.